Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today I'm doing a film review which is a bit different than what I normally do on the channel, but I decided that I will try it out because my dad actually, he's called Screen Stars on YouTube. He has a decent amount of subscribers. He does film reviews, and I was struggling to find stuff to record or do or have the effort to do, so I just thought I'd try something new in the form of a film review. I did not mean for that to rhyme, and I've not prepared a script for this, so I'm just going to go off what I think off the top of my head, so I hope you do enjoy, and yeah. The Amazing Spider-Man came out on the 7th of March 2012 to very mediocre reviews. I think it's a 6.5 on IMDb out of 10, and about 67% Rotten Tomatoes, which isn't bad, but it isn't good either. It stars Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, and they give off a great performance throughout this film, especially Andrew Garfield, a criminally underrated actor. One of the reasons I wanted to review this film is because it is my generation that the Spider-Man film came out. The Raimi trilogy came out just before I was born. I think it finished the year after I was born, so yeah, of course I love and watch those films, but this is my generation of Spider-Man, and it's a shame it never got a third film. These films aren't anything special, but they are enjoyable and entertaining superhero films. I would first like to talk about Andrew Garfield's and Emma Stone's chemistry while filming on screen. They have a great bond on screen, and it's very clear they actually like each other in real life as well, which is clearly true as they were in a relationship during the filming of the second film. I think Andrew Garfield was a great choice for Peter Parker, other than the fact he's extremely tall and handsome compared to the other Spider-Man, other than Tom Holland, which some people find handsome as well. He's far too cool with his skateboard for a nerd in high school and to be getting bullied in the slightest way possible. He's better looking than anyone in our school and would not get bullied whatsoever. Emma Stone is a perfect Gwen Stacy in my opinion. She has the right energy for it, and the only other Gwen Stacy I've seen on screen is the Spider-Man 3 Gwen Stacy, and something just feels off about her, but a lot of stuff for that film does feel off. I think she matches the energy quite well from the comics. And Emma Stone also gives a very good performance, which also adds to my opinion on Gwen Stacy in this film. Her father, Captain Stacy, is a very, very good character. I think he didn't get enough screen time and didn't get enough backstory. Especially when he influences a lot of the plot in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Which, I don't care about spoilers. This is a spoiler warning here and now. If you haven't seen this film, then I'm about to spoil some stuff. Captain Stacy in this film serves as a sort of moral compass for Peter and Spider-Man, as when Peter goes for a meal with him at Gwen's house, and they are both talking about how Spider-Man is a vigilante, Captain Stacy points out to Peter that he is only hunting down criminals with a certain track record and a certain tattoo. And this becomes apparent to Peter that he isn't helping people, he is trying to get revenge. And this is where we actually start to see a normal Spider-Man. The first negative I have to say about this film is that throughout the first hour or so, Spider-Man is not how he should be. He is like an angry, miserable teenager over the death of his uncle, which anyone would be, that is true, but like, Spider-Man never ever just hunts down criminals and threatens to beat them up, which he literally does. He says this could have got a lot worse. So a criminal, which is very out of character for Spider-Man. I see what they were trying to do, but it didn't really pay off. Another negative about this film is that all the shots of Spider-Man, except for maybe one, are filmed in the dark at the night. I am not sure why. This is a very silly design. I mean, a very silly choice in my opinion, as the suit in this film, and I know this might be an unpopular opinion, but the suit in this film is absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the best cinematic presentations of Spider-Man. I think it's one of the best suits we've ever seen on screen. I think it's on par with the Raimi suit. I think the Raimi suit just tops it by a little bit, maybe just for nostalgia purposes, but I think it's better than the Homecoming suit and No Way Home suit, and I mean, yeah, the new No Way Home suit, much better than it, in my opinion. The lenses are gorgeous, they reflect the buildings when he's swinging perfectly, and it's very beautiful in the night sky, that's undeniable, but I think it'd be more beautiful in some city-wide shots of him swinging. I believe they put it in the night. I believe they put more scenes with Spider-Man in the night to show the reflections in his lenses a bit better, and the blue shading to look a bit more, I don't know, edgy, because it tried to make itself an edgy sort of down-to-earth film. I think this was a mistake. I think some more daytime shots of Spider-Man swinging through the city would have helped greatly with the popularity of this costume, and maybe have it a bit more ripped than it was. I think this suit looks great ripped, and I think it could have had some great scenes being damaged, especially with the fight with the lizard, which brings me on to my next point. I think the design of the lizard in this film was amazing. He looks very intimidating, very scary. I think the CGI in this film is very good. There wasn't any points where I thought, wow, that looks ugly, or that doesn't look good, or faithful to the comics, or whatever. I'm not a big comic nerd, but yeah, I think it looks very faithful to how it should. However, I do believe the motive of the lizard in this film is stupid, wanting to turn New York City into lizards because you know how good it is. It's very, very flawed and mediocre. In my opinion, I think a much better plot would have been Dr. Connors trying to get back to normal, maybe some technologies in Oscorp. The reason why Spider-Man is so worried is because Gwen is in Oscorp, which it is what happens. This scene you're seeing right here is Gwen hiding in a closet from the lizard, but I think his motive to get back to Oscorp to try cure himself from being a lizard would have been a much better, more believable motive than trying to turn everyone in New York into a lizard. Maybe there could have been some consequences to him healing himself, maybe like he would die, so Peter's trying to save him. I think that would have been a much better ending to this lizard character on screen. I think Dr. Connor's story arc doesn't really make much sense. I mean, we don't really know if it changes his personality or whether he genuinely wants to be this evil and turn everybody into lizards. I mean, at the end we see him save Peter from falling off the edge of the building, which means as he had a change of heart. Was it the lizard thing he'd injected himself with that was affecting his brain? We never really find out, which I think was a mistake because the ending was kind of confusing for him. His ending was very flawed. We even get a bit of body horror in this film from Dr. Connors. I mean, in some people's opinion, this would be body horror. In mine, it is. We see him transform very uncomfortably into the lizard. We see this also in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Harry Osborn's transformation into the Green Goblin. I think the directors have tried to make it quite a very disturbing process, the transformation of a human into another thing, which I think is good. I think it works well. It adds to the edgy side of the film. As I said before, I think the suit was going for that. I think Peter Parker's character was going for that. I think Uncle Ben's death was very violent compared to Raimi's, which also gives off an edgy vibe. I think Dr. Connors was played extremely well. I think his scientific side, his like almost demeaning intelligence was portrayed very well. I think Peter enjoying being around Dr. Connors and giving him the formula for the lizard syndrome, whatever you want to call it. I think it works very well. I think Peter saw him as a sort of father figure as he did know his father, which I think is a good plot point. I think Dr. Connors and Richard Parker working together is a very good representation of the Ultimate Spider-Man comic, which I think also leads to great things. I mean, if they ever made a third Amazing Spider-Man, that would probably mean we get Venom, and I think Venom with the Amazing Spider-Man suit would be very, very gorgeous and very nice. So yeah, I think they were setting up for a trilogy that never happened, and I think they were doing it extremely well with the subplot of Richard Parker and Dr. Connors. I think these side characters such as Flash Thompson, Peter Parker's bully, obviously, as you should know, was entertaining for a little while, but I think they switched up from bully to friend far too fast. That scene where Peter puts Flash up against the locker after Uncle Ben's death, I think that's a very powerful scene. However, I do think that Flash wouldn't have done that. It's not his character. It's a very nice moment, but I mean, it doesn't really fit in with the Spider-Man storyline. And again, very out of character. This film took many liberties with going against the original Spider-Man material, but I think it worked for that scene. I mean, it's enjoyable, very entertaining, and obviously for entertainment purposes I think it was worth it. But the source material was kind of very taken advantage of in this film. They took many things out and put many things in, and I think some of it paid off, but most of it didn't, which is why this film doesn't have as big of a reputation as a film such as Spider-Man 2. I believe that Uncle Ben and Aunt May were portrayed extremely well, extremely well. I think this Uncle Ben is the best portrayal we've seen of Uncle Ben. Of course, we haven't seen Tom Holland's character's portrayal yet, but we have seen the Raimi one, and I think this one is much stronger than the Raimi one, which might be another unpopular opinion, but it is just my opinion. Uncle Ben is very down to earth. He's very caring, very funny. Maybe giggle a few times. Probably when I was younger, but not so much anymore. But yeah, a few moments with Peter where they have great chemistry on screen. Again, I think that's Andrew Garfield's charm, though. He seems to get on well with everybody on screen he's with. Same with Aunt May, especially in the second film, which is one of the positives about that. I think, however, his death took far too long. I think less time with Peter Parker and more time with Spider-Man would have been better. I think as Andrew Garfield is far too cool, skater boy, handsome for Peter Parker. I think they should have shied away from that, but I think they might have thought it would work. However, it just unfortunately didn't. However, that does not take away from Andrew Garfield's performance, a very good performance. Aunt May in this film is quite different to how she is in the second film. I don't know why, but she's much more of an agony aunt in this film and more of a caring mother in the second film, but she still gives off a great performance, of course. One of the final negatives I would like to talk about is this train scene with Peter Parker where he first gets his powers. It is quite a mess. I mean, I don't know who edited this, but there is some shockingly bad editing in this scene, which is unfortunate because it could have been a very great scene. The choreography is very beautiful and everything, and Andrew Garfield's reactions are perfect. How I would react if I was beating the shit out of people without knowing how or why. I think the scene where he pulls his shirt off the girl, I think that was unnecessary. It wasn't very funny, and obviously it was put in there for comedic purposes. I think it would have been better if he just was getting stuck to things and less of, "Oh, are you touching my girl?" sort of situation. I mean, it would have been funny in 2008, not really funny in 2012. But yeah, I think if a fight broke out simply because he, I don't know, maybe spilt someone's drink by accident or got stuck to someone's drink, I don't know, could have been done better. And the editing where there's flash cuts and sped up cuts and slowed down scenes and all these sound effects and train rumbling and stuff, it just doesn't work together. I think they could have kept it short and sweet and simple. However, I do like the end of the scene where Andrew's looking at his hand and the music's building up. I like that very much. It's a very powerful scene. The final thing I'm going to talk about is the scenes where he is injured with his chest slashed. I think these scenes are some of the best in the film. The bit where he's got an injured leg and he's running on the roof and all the people lining up cranes for him. I think that is a very beautiful scene and shows the appreciation that people have towards somebody such as Spider-Man. I think it works very well. I mean, it doesn't really make much sense why he can't swing off buildings. I mean, I guess it'd speed you up if there were cranes lining up, but it's quite a nice scene. Another very powerful scene is where Captain Stacy asks Spider-Man to remove his mask. A very epic moment, Spider-Man taking out all of Captain Stacy's men, and Captain Stacy finally capturing him at gunpoint and saying, "Remove your mask." And obviously letting him go when he finds out it's Peter. Leads on very nicely to Captain Stacy saving Peter's life on the roof with the lizard sacrificing himself for New York. Works very well. Very good plot device for the second film, but it was unfortunately abused in that film. So yeah, my final score for this film would be a strong 7 out of 10. I think any lower would just be trying to be sheep. I mean, back in 2012, maybe people just felt differently, but I think this film is a very good superhero film, and I think to say it isn't is not true. It is a very entertaining film, very good portrayal by Andrew Garfield, excellent actor, Emma Stone excellent as well, very good performance, and Andrew Garfield's performance in the second film is one of the only positives about that film as well. He is a very underrated actor and he's great. On the negatives, Peter Parker, Lizard's motive, filming primarily at night. Other than that, very good film. 7 out of 10 I would give it, and I'm very confident about that score. I love to watch this film whenever I feel like in the Spider-Man mood. I mean, after No Way Home, I watched it, obviously. Hopefully you've seen No Way Home, amazing, amazing film. Maybe I'll review that if this does well, and I would also review The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Oh God, the costume is just so good. I think anyone who doesn't like this costume is trying really hard to be different. I think you have to appreciate how creative this costume is, how good the lenses work with the reflections of buildings. I mean, I don't know why you can see his eyes through that. You can never see his eyes in the film. I think this might be a fake image, but whatever. Um, it looks so great damaged. I think it could have been damaged a bit more, but yeah. Thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please do subscribe and leave a like. Obviously, check out my dad's Screen Stars on YouTube. He does well, his entire channel is movie reviews, so yeah, if you enjoy movie reviews, go check him out. But make sure you subscribe to me as well, because I will be doing more if this video does well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.